You can see the before and after shot of the classes here. I do think the promoted classes don't really have the same charm as the original sprites, so I can kind of see why they were changed in some of the other re-releases, but anyway. Welcome back to more of Final Fantasy I Pixel Remaster, thanks to a copy provided by Square Enix, and yeah, we're here in the Sunken Shrine, which has some really great music. And yeah, it turns out this place is a dungeon. I wasn't sure if it would be a dungeon, but now I definitely know that it is one. I know the Coral Sword is kind of outclassed right now, but I wonder if it might actually be somewhat useful here. Okay, that is definitely a big decrease, so it looks like my accuracy is higher now. I don't know exactly how my stats went up due to the class changes, but I think it affects your multi-hit ratio. It's a sea troll, and it is still, like, holding its head and screaming. I don't know if these things are considered sea creatures or not. I'm gonna have you defend just in case, and usually sea creatures don't like lightning, so let's see how this works. Well, at least an NPC told us this. We're probably gonna get poisoned, aren't we? Or, you know, we could waste this Thundara because, yeah, that does still do a pretty decent amount of damage, though. Yeah, this music is really, really great. Look, it's a cyclone. Okay, so, seems like, yeah, the water elementals kind of look more like traditional elementals here. Because the earth elementals and fire elementals from earlier looked kind of different. Only 1 damage? That makes me a little suspicious. Yeah, that isn't doing a lot. Maybe I am going to be overall doing better damage with later swords. Oh, actually, that still did a solid amount. So I guess I'll have to see. Okay, so that's, oh, okay, this is interesting. It looks like these rooms don't, like, always open out into the full area that you can see on the outside. Some of them do have, parts of them that are closed off. Also looks like there might be 2 stairways down here. Okay, no monster ambush in that one. Well, regular shark is here. Well, we just did, then actually not the number of the beast in what should be the correct translation, I think, but, yeah, a lot of people think it is that. We can even see the water here. I mean, often water dungeons get kind of a bad rap in things, but I'm actually kind of liking this one. I'm not really too experienced with how water dungeons typically go in older RPGs, but it does feel like, as far as enemy variety goes, they're kind of just adding sea in front of, like, whatever creatures that they can think of and just calling it a new monster. It's like, oh, look, it's not just a snake, it's a sea snake. It's not a troll, it's a sea troll. It's a sea scorpion. I don't know if sea scorpions are even a real thing, but, I know that, cone snails are, a thing in certain parts of, I think they're in, like, Queensland, maybe, as far as they go in Australia, but, like, cone snails are one of the most horrifying creatures that I've ever, yeah, known about. They're pretty terrifying. Shaken Prince, and 2 white sharks. I mainly know about cone snails via Magic School Bus. Yes, Magic School Bus did have a tendency to teach disturbing nature facts. Didn't really hold back with a lot of things, but it is how I learned a lot of my science and biology when I was younger. Yeah, his intellect is already past 40. Now, was there... Okay, there is a chest in a room that is nearby. Oh, it looks like there's both stairs down and stairs up. Well, that thing's pretty much dead. Weirdly, seeing this Naga here just makes me think of that there's like a quest in... Not like a quest, but sort of a side thing in Megami Tensei 2. Not Shin Megami Tensei 2, Megami Tensei 2. Where you have to go to... You end up having to, like, free a Naga. Like, you temporarily go to the demon world, and then you free, like, a Naga that has a sword stuck in it, and then you get both the sword, and I think you also get the Naga as an ally. I don't know, it's... My memory's a little bit hazy on that, but, yeah, more strength and a little bit more intellect, which I don't know if it does anything for warriors, or in this case, knights, but could be wrong about that. Oh, I thought you were, like... I read that as that you are holding an action, but no, this isn't that much like D&D. Yeah, okay, so these stairs go down. And the other stairs go up. Whoa, this is a big floor. Wow, holy, okay, this is kind of insane. This is making me wish there was some kind of a rappel type thing. But I kind of want to see what's up the upstairs. That's weird. The focus animation was targeted at us, but I'm guessing it's still, like, raising your own accuracy against us rather than, like, what would the enemy, like... I get very suspicious if the enemy was actually trying to raise our own accuracy. I know there is, I think, an enemy in one of the other Final Fantasy games. I'm not exactly sure which one, but it's like an enemy that casts Scan on itself and reveals that it's weak to Thunder, but actually, if you use Thunder on it, it will unleash a really dangerous counterattack. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to a better sword. Actually, a lot of things in here should be resistant to ice, you'd think. I'm gonna try the flame sword. Although, really, yeah, things in here seem to be weak to thunder more than they would be to fire. Okay, upstairs. What do we got here? Okay. Oh, there's even more upstairs. And a lot of rooms. Yeah, I'm not sure which direction to go here. Because if it's sunken, you'd assume that the most dangerous parts would be the lower parts, like, you know, what would be hidden would be in the lower parts. Because as we go up, we're getting closer to the surface, and you'd think that if something's closer to the surface, it would mean that it'd kind of be the stuff people would have found already. I don't know. So we'll see what's further up. This may end up being the first dungeon to be a two-parter. This series has been fairly concise in terms of its parts overall, but, yeah. I might end up needing to make this one two parts. Depending on how this goes, because these are very big floors. The weird thing is that every time I see these, the white sharks, I keep thinking of a, just a ghost. That's kind of weird that these are showing up so late, but, I won't question that. But I do still have... I mean, I do have Diaga, but I also have Holy. But I guess Holy works in everything, whereas this only works on Undead, so I may as well just use, this. But yeah, it reminds me of a really, really terrible movie that I saw as a kid called Master of Disguise, but, most of that movie is awful, but one of the few things that I actually found kind of funny was this guy disguising as some weird fisherman and then going, sometimes the great white bald henchmen go away, sometimes he don't go away. Maybe that thing is weak to fire, I don't know. Some of the, like, looking a little bit at the bestiary for enemies that I've already fought, some of them did kind of surprise me. And also, like, it seems like there are different categories of enemies as well, and some of the categories were also kind of surprising. Like, there's a category for magic and mage, which are not the same thing. Lich is classified, I believe, as both mage, magic, and undead. So there must be some weapons that are effective against mages. Maybe it's like I don't know if the Mage Masher, which is a dagger in FF12, I don't know if that's in this game. Light Axe. More attack, but less accuracy, and I feel like I'm gonna have a higher multi-hit rate with the Ice Brand. It's gonna be kind of hard to, like... That is one thing about this game that's a little annoying. There's no real visual indicator as to whether you're hitting a weakness or a resistance, besides the fact that you just kind of have to figure out in your head whether you're doing more or less damage, because... I'm guessing that thing's probably not weak to fire, because I'm doing like around the 200 mark to most of these enemies anyway. I think we are definitely getting to the point where Duncan is doing more damage than Cetro overall. So, late game it seems like warriors, I've heard they're still considered one of the best classes in the game, but like, late game they're kind of more tanks than they are actual attackers. Mage's Staff. Now, does that have like a use or something? A staff that casts fire when used. Okay, then. Oh, ninjas can use it. Okay, interesting. But I mean, free fire is kind of nice. Do I have to, like, have that left in my inventory in order to actually use it? Because I believe I have, like, the cure staff. I suppose I can try that out. Huh. Oh, Cetro can use it. So I wonder if that's, like, what the use of the intellect stat is on non-magic classes. Yeah, because this means that my non-mages can cast magic, and it does incredibly badly, because, you know, not being a mage. But I guess if I have a white mage use it, or, you know, Duncan can just finish the fight for me. This is actually reminding me of, I think in Final Fantasy V, there are a lot of items that cast spells like this, and speedruns, well, not speedruns, but in some cases, the 4-job fiestas rely on them quite a lot, because you might end up randomly getting a whole bunch of classes that can't use magic at all, and, oh, you can actually hold the speed up button even while, the battle transition is happening. That's cool. Even coming off a white mage, that was really, really low damage. Maybe it just kind of works off of a fixed magic stat or something weird like that? I don't know. But yeah, there are a lot of, like, rods and other items like that, from what I've heard, in, apparently they can be kind of broken if they're, used right. If I ever do end up playing, like, any of the later Pixel Remaster games, at one point I was thinking, oh hey, I could do a 4-job fiesta of, like, 5, but it's been recommended to me that, not to do a 4-job fiesta for my first playthrough. I mean, I'd probably do it without, like, the Berserker clause, which lets one of your random jobs potentially be a Berserker, and for those who don't know, I believe that in that game, Berserkers are stuck just using the standard attack command and nothing else, making them basically warriors and monks from this game, except that in that game, most classes can actually do stuff besides attack, and like I believe they can't, like, they can't use items, they can't, like, they basically can't do anything. But yeah, I've heard that some 4-job fiesta runs are actually incredibly difficult to do. Like, apparently, I think I actually talked about this during Final Fantasy XII, but apparently if you end up getting all thieves, then you're heavily reliant on stealing items from enemies or getting random drops for a long time, because not a lot of shops sell good thief equipment for ages, at least as far as I've heard. So yeah, it's generally recommended that you leave doing a 4-job fiesta for a later playthrough. And that apparently the game is just generally more fun if you're playing for the first time. It's apparently a lot more fun if you just if you're able to experiment with all the class options. Because Because that's one of those games, it actually feels a bit like Bravely Default to me, even though Bravely Default came way later, where you can, basically anybody can be anything, and you can kind of mix and match, I think, abilities from different jobs if you learn them in certain things. Well, that's a lot of gil. But then again, stuff is a lot more expensive now in general. Wait, did that just say 5th floor? 4F. Oh, okay, so we must have started, lower down. Which makes sense if it is indeed a sunken shrine. Okay, so this is as far as we go, up. But I'm guessing this is going to be just like... Oh! There's a mermaid in here, okay. Yeah, I'm guessing this is going to be like the bottom floor of the Marsh Cave, where there's going to be a whole bunch of chests here, and some of them are going to be horrifying. Would you mind elaborating on how your prayers have been answered, or what I'm supposed to be doing here? Oh, my prayers have been answered. Yeah, how are you going to help me? Oh, turning to sea foam. I think that's what happens to the little mermaid in, Are there encounters here at all? It doesn't seem like there are. Okay, that's good. So this place is kind of a town. So let's just go ahead and loot the mermaids. But yeah, sea foam is, yeah, the little mermaid, I think, turned into sea foam. I only know that because of one of Marie's poems in Persona 4. Ah. Well, I'm guessing she's the one who's running around saying, "Yay, I have legs!" Which is a weird thing to hear out of context. But, diamond armlet. Yeah, do I have those? Or okay, I have ruby armlets. Yeah, I think it's more vital that Duncan had better defense. You could breathe underwater? No, this is supposed to be underwater, apparently. Doesn't look very underwater. Restore light to the water crystal, okay. Is that further down or not? Well, these mermaids seem totally okay with us taking their reserves of money. Uppermost level of the shrine. Oh, the Kraken is the Fiend of Water. Okay, so it's not Leviathan. Just kind of appreciating the music here. Mirage Tower. Chiming sound. I'm guessing that you need some kind of bell to go in there. That'd be my assumption. Diamond shields. Yeah, I was just gonna say that the diamond armlet is, yeah, here probably doesn't have the same effect that it does in FF12, where it changes the contents of chests. Sometimes in a very drastic way. And sometimes makes the contents way worse. It's a bit of a guide dang it item. Okay, so basically these mermaids are all gonna die unless we do something about the Kraken. How do we access... Huh. There's like... Yeah, how do we get in there? Because it seems like the pathway is blocked everywhere else, unless this screen wraps around. Aha! It wraps around! That's good to know. Diamond helm, diamond gloves. Aha! So you actually need to know about the wraparound to progress the story. That's interesting. Let me see. Can anyone use the diamond leather gloves? I guess I'll give that to you. Also, the diamond helm. There's really no reason not to. Like, again, I feel like so much of the equipment in this game is just designed assuming that you have a warrior. But, okay, yeah, this place is actually way friendlier than I expected it to be. I was expecting that some of these chests would be monster chests and it would be full of mind flayers. It's a sequel to the monster chest that was full of Pisco demons earlier. But I'm actually glad that I went to the top parts of the shrine first, because now I just need to remember how to get back to the stairs. Actually, wait a minute, I have an exit spell. Yeah, that's probably faster. So, here we go, escape rope time. Oh, and we just go back to the town. That's convenient. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to heal. I think I'll switch my on-screen character a bit. I haven't actually had Cetro on screen for a while since he upgraded his class. Oh, Une is the one who needs the Rosetta Stone. Wait a minute, wasn't he back in Melbourne? Or was he here? I forget. Like, I know there was someone back in Melbourne who had a name. And that's Cope. Yeah, because I actually thought the Sunken Shrine would have been over that waterfall. I thought the submarine we got would have let us go past the waterfall, and then we would have been able to access beyond there, but no, we actually haven't been able to go beyond the waterfall yet. And, with the Rosetta Stone, technically speaking, I think we could take that and then try and decipher the language, but while we're here, we should probably fight the Kraken. But how are we going to find that shining object past the waterfall? Maybe the people with the language barrier are going to tell us how to do that. Alright, as we're fighting these trolls, I can also say that in the bestiary, regenerative is also considered an enemy type. I don't know if there are any weapons that are effective against regenerative enemies. Okay, no more strength though. I don't know if, though, monk damage scales off of other things, because I know that... It's actually still always something that I liked about FF12, is that different weapons had different damage formulas, and some of them worked off of different stats. Like how daggers and bows partially did damage based on agility. I don't think I actually, because I never made anyone a monk, I don't think, in my FF12 playthrough, so we never really got to see how poles worked. Because poles were a very weird weapon that, their damage like, their actual, like, what they work off of, I think it's purely strength, but, they hit on the enemy's magic defense instead of their physical defense. Which is an interesting idea for a weapon. It's kind of like the, I like the move Psyshock in Pokemon. In fact, I probably already made that analogy. Wait a minute, No, I am in the right place. There's an up staircase here. I don't think I've been in before. And even though this place is pretty big, a lot of it we don't even need to go to, so... It's probably a little smaller than it seems. Oh, wow, that's a lot of sea scorpions. I'm gonna just Thundara you all. That is satisfying. Yeah, the other thing that I'm reminded of with that kind of like sort of damage typing is the Frankish unique unit, the Throwing Axeman in Age of Empires 2, which is technically a ranged attack, but it hits on the enemy's melee defense instead of their ranged defense, which is interesting. In general, I don't think they were considered that good, because the Franks are kind of supposed to be a cavalry civilization, and they're an infantry unique unit, which is a bit... Whoa, okay then. It's the prince and his court. However, I'm just gonna unleash a powerful thunderstorm on their faces. The line of succession has been broken, although not really, because there are a whole lot of other Shaken princes in here. Okay. This is interesting. I hope I haven't stumbled on the paths of the Kraken already, because that means I'm going to have to backtrack for a lot of stuff here. It's funny how I'm encountering a water Naga before any other Nagas, because the fact this thing is called a water Naga would imply that there are non-water Nagas in the game. Or maybe not, maybe this is the only one, I don't know. Down we go. Second floor. Okay, there's something even further down. Oh, okay then. No, this was in fact the only way I could go, because everywhere else was blocked, so I'm back to where I started. Okay then. And there are a few doors here for me to check out. Okay, so the reason why this floor was so big is because we can only explore half of it at a time. So far, the deep eyes haven't really done any except that, but yeah. Oh yeah, I suddenly remembered, like looking at the fire sword and stuff. So, according to the bestiary, Marlith actually has no weakness. So, I actually shouldn't have been using ice on her, but I couldn't have known that at the time. A lot of water elementals. I wonder if you guys don't like... Okay, let's try Thundaga. Or, you know, Thundaga, as I keep saying that, but I just... It was apparently a meme for like a short while. It kind of feels like Dissidia dropped off the radar pretty quickly. It's kind of sad because there are a lot of cool things in Dissidia, I thought. It was my first introduction to a lot of past Final Fantasy characters. Never actually played it though, because I never owned a PSP. And yeah, there's a new version on like on modern consoles that I was gonna get, but then it turned out that it apparently is online multiplayer only, not local, and I probably would prefer to play local because I'm not good at competitive fighting games and would rather just play with friends and family than just casually than play online. Okay, so your physical defense is pretty bad unless it's against Duncan, in which case you just die. Yeah, and apparently, I knew at least one of these would be monsters. Apparently the Dissidia, I'm gonna try Fire-Aga to see if that does more damage. The new version of Dissidia is also kind of designed for, like, arcade play, and it's meant to sort of be a 3v3 thing, and it's a very specific kind of arcade play that has a... That might be a resistance, actually. So we actually seem... I said actually too much, but we seem to be following Pokemon-type logic here, where water things are resistant to fire, rather than typical Final Fantasy logic, where water things are generally weak to fire, or ice things. Actually, it's usually ice things that are weak to fire in FF, not water, so... Yeah, I probably shouldn't be equipping the Flame Sword. I'll try the Ice Brand. I don't know if it's it'll be any better. If this is the... No, it's not the same. Okay. A lot of things that can petrify us, though, so I would very much like... I am going to go ahead and drop Holy on this group. I don't want to take my chances, and I'm going to drop a Fire-Aga as well. And Fire-Aga goes first. Nice. Let's see if this takes out the whole group. Yeah, it looks like the Pyralisks may be resistant to that. Giant's Gloves. Okay then. It's gonna lower my stuff, but... I wonder if that has some kind of hidden effect to it. You'd think it would increase strength or something. Gloves that cast Saber when used. Oh, okay. Effective against undead, cast Tiara when used. Okay, I should be looking at these items more often. Wait, Gauntlets cast Thunder. Yeah, wow, okay then. Guards again. Wait a minute. Oh wow, was I seriously doing it wrong for the fire and ice dungeons? Was I supposed to equip the opposite elemental thing? Guards against ice? Huh, that's kind of interesting. Effective against giants, okay. Yeah, I should have been checking this earlier. Guards against fire. Yeah, if it is according to enemies, I thought so. That was obvious. Widens towards its tip. I don't know if that's implying anything. Okay, so... yeah, my main issue with Saber before was that it could only be cast on the Black Mage. However... so I believe Saber raises both, strength and number of attacks. And I might even be able to stack with, haste. And it's not like only one person can use it. Like, I could have Duncan use it, on a different turn. So that's really fun for boss fights, potentially. I mean, you know, boss in this game take not a very long time anyway, so it's not, like, entirely necessary, but... you didn't really get to do a whole lot with that Saber, but... something to keep in mind, I guess. I had a feeling it would be monsters. Okay, that's a lot of things, but I have a preemptive strike, and I can just, I can try that. Yeah, they're probably weak to that. And level up for Cetro. Level 40 now. Another light axe. There aren't a whole lot of undead that are showing up right now, though, so... I mean, there are some, but I feel like it's not, like... there aren't enough to really justify me making that my main weapon for now. I mean, it is only slightly weaker than what I currently have, but it probably doesn't multi-attack as much. Okay. I'm guessing you're a bunch of elementals. And Duncan levels up. Wait. Is that as ridiculously good as it is in most other Final Fantasy games? What is it? Oh, it's headgear. Okay. Does it block all status ailments, though, like it does most of the time? Elemental attacks and status effects. Okay, it does actually block. The question is, though, who do I give that to? Because, like, you don't really have a whole lot of status curing spells. Like, who is absolutely vital to not get statused? Because if anything, I'd kind of prefer Cetro to not get status, because he is my sort of main tank. However, he's the only one who can use the really good helmets. So it's a bit of a waste of all of those if I'm giving that to him. Unless I give that to Dunk. Oh, that's going to lower his defense, though. Yeah, I guess I'll give that to Noah, then. It's kind of interesting that the ribbon is headgear in this game, because it... I don't know, like, I always thought of the Final Fantasy ribbon as being something that you just wear, like, on your armor, or just, like, on your arm or chest or something. Never really considered it being a hair accessory. Okay, I'm just gonna do this out of curiosity. No, it was a Shaken Prince and 2 sharks hiding under that cloak. That's a very impressive circus act you've got there. Yeah, I think I've got all the chests in here, so let's head to the next deepest floor. I like how there are 2 things to do in this dungeon, though. You know, there's fighting the Fiend and there's getting that item. First floor. Maybe this is our ultimate destination. Oh yeah, that looks like a very big room. Maybe that's our ultimate destination. I guess we'll see. Still some pretty big flaws in this place. The enemies don't really seem to be changing all that much as we go down the dungeon, though, which is, honestly, like, the enemies in this place haven't really been that interesting to me. It's just... I've kind of preferred, like, the Earth Cave at least changed things up a little bit as you went down the floors, and so did some of the other dungeons, but this one, it's mostly just the same stuff all the way down, and none of them are really, I don't want to speak too soon, but none of them are really all that dangerous. And of course, the Citadel of Trials had the Mind Flayers. And some other enemies that were pretty interesting. Okay, so let's see what's inside these rooms. That's just a really big open area there. There are actually no chests here at all. Oh yeah, there's the crystal. Doesn't look like there are any chests on this floor. Unless, like, suddenly they've introduced a gimmick of hiding the chests on your map. Don't really know a whole lot about actual sea snakes. Alright, no, we can actually cross over there. I want to see what's in this room, though. Probably nothing. Yep, that is nothing. You know, now that I'm actually fleeing, I can talk about, I've since found out how the, how the flee formula was bugged in the original game, and it's even weirder than I thought it was. There's a full article on the Final Fantasy wiki, but from what I remember of it, I think, and don't quote me on this, like, the top 2 characters, I think it's the top 2 characters can run 100% of the time if the bottom 2 characters aren't statused, because it tries to, like, it takes the flee chance from, like, the bite that is actually, in the game's code, that's actually the status of the bottom 2 party members. It's really, really bizarre. I don't know what happened there. A lot of these bugs in older games, I just think, like, how did these get past testing? I mean, they must have had pretty small testing and QA departments back in those days. I mean, I'm not exactly sure about this game's development history, but, I mean, you'd think that somebody would have pointed out, you know, entire spells like Temper doing nothing in the original game. Like, you'd think that would be pretty obvious. But apparently no, it's just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna leave this in the game. At least haste wasn't bugged into being useless. Only in that battle did I realize just how big of a chin that the knight sprite has. Okay, very close to a level up on Noah, I think that is, who's in my second slot. There we go, Noah levels up to 41. So what levels are we all? Okay, we're, Noah's actually ahead of everyone else, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, that just goes to show how bulky white mages are in this game. Right, how am I doing in terms of magic levels? I have a pretty decent number of them. I've got full hastes and full tempers. And I also have a lot of those. I'm probably fine to not use ethers here. Okay, fully healed up. I don't know if the Kraken is going to be resistant to ice or not. I don't really have much that's resistant to water. I mean, I have things that are effective against, like I have the Coral Sword, but that's going to drop my attack by quite a bit. I don't know how the effectiveness multiplier works. I mean, I can try the Coral Sword. But, okay, let's go. I apologize for what I'm about to do. You humans do impress. I've not thought to see you here. But do you really think you can defeat the Fiend water here in my own domain? Fools, these dark depths shall be your tomb! I'm so sorry. The Kraken! Okay, insert release the Kraken joke here. You are gonna start this off by using the Giant's Gloves. Can two people use that in the same turn? I'm guessing no, but I suppose we'll see. And then you're gonna use Protera. You know, I kind of wonder if I should use Null Death here, because I have a feeling that maybe we'll be dealing with instant death. Well, I guess we'll see. And then you will Hastify Actually, no, Hastify Duncan. And then Duncan will just... Let me just check something. Yeah, I can't use that. I have the Strength Tonic, but I'm just going to try to use regular attack. 8 hits, okay, I'm guessing like you're hitting like 1 for each tentacle. Still doing really solid damage with Duncan here, so I'm not sure how... I'm guessing this fight's not going to be super hard, but we'll see. Protera, okay. I mean, I don't think you're going to use Shock, because that's probably more the domain of the Wind Fiend, but I can try that out, or I can just use Holy. Or I can go with my original plan and go for Null Death, just because I'm a little suspicious that you might end up using Instant Death on me. Ink. Okay. That looks really cool. Oh, and it failed on it failed on Noah because he already has the ribbon. That's pretty cool, actually. I don't think... Oh, I can change equipment in the middle of a fight. I just noticed that, the triangle for equipment, so I can change this out, because I get the feeling that, I'm gonna go ahead and use the Ice Brand. That is cool, being able to change out your equipment in the middle of a fight. Yeah, so let's try Holy now. And then you try Thundaga, and you try just, Actually, wait, no. Temper on Duncan. Ink again. Yeah, because of the ribbon, it seems like, 14 hits, nice. And he's already dead. Yep, I had a feeling this wouldn't be that hard with all these buffs going. Didn't even get to cast Holy. But yeah, the ribbon must be, must make you already, immune to instant death, so Null Death isn't even needed. Well, that was a pretty lame level up, but I guess it wasn't a particularly tough boss. That is our first crystal since we upgraded our classes. And with that, the mermaid should be fine, except I don't really want to go all the way back up to the top floor just to talk to them and see if their dialogue has any difference. Let's get out of here. The water is now safe. And with that, we're back on the world map. I think now is probably a good time to save, so I'll go ahead and do that. And next time, we'll be heading back to, I've already forgotten the name, the Decaying Earth Town, to talk to that guy about the Rosetta Stone. So, see you all then.